So one of the things that I did since we last recorded was that I went to Guula Ngurra, and down there, amongst other things, I saw emus. And I just thought, we don't see them that often in the Highlands, and they deserve a little bit of talking about.
We don't see them at all in the Highlands unless you go off to some remote little spot, which you did.
That's right. Yeah. So they're a really interesting bird. And at the time that I saw them, there was a group of about 6. They can grow up to 1.9 metres. And around that time that I saw them, I was posting things on Facebook about attracting tiny birds to your garden, like birds that are 6 and 7 grams in weight. And I just thought how remarkable that both of those things are birds, and that they've evolved somehow in completely different directions. Emus breed in May and June, and the females fight over the partners. They have very sharp claws, apparently, and they will fight for up to 5 hours for the right to mate with a given male.
Really?
Yes.
That's horrid.
Yeah. But I think they might have good reason, because the male is the one who builds the nest and does all the incubation. So the female just gets a quick little bit of attention, shall we say, out of it, lays the egg. In fact, lays more than one egg often.
They lay lots, I think.
Yeah. And then the male does all the work of the incubating and the bringing up of the nestlings.
Yeah, he does work very hard. Very unusual, really, to see a bird so attentive to young birds.
A male,
Yes.
that's right. And apparently during that time he loses up to a third of his weight, because he just
can't
doesn't
go
leave
out
the
and
nest.
feed, because he's got to keep an eye on them.
Yeah. And so while he's doing all that work, the little floozy is off trying to find the next male to mate with.
Oh, now she's a floozy, is she?
Well, and apparently quite often, because the female emu has been hunting around for other partners, some of the eggs in the male's nest will not be his own eggs.
Shock horror.
So he incubates the nestlings, brings them up, and then they will stay with him for often up until the next breeding season. So what a hero.
Indeed, indeed. I did tell you the story about finding the eggs, didn't I? A walking friend of mine.
You tell me again.
Oh, it was in Belangolo Forest. I'm sure I've told you this.
Oh, yes, right.
Yes, she
Back
was
in the
bushwalking.
early days of our,
She just came across a nest of these beautiful, and they are beautiful, blue, large eggs. No male. He must have been trying to put on weight somewhere around the corner.
Yes.
But Belangolo's not that far from the centre of Bowral and Mittagong, and is it?
No, I have seen emus on the farmland immediately adjacent to Belangolo.
Yeah.
And I've seen them at Guula Ngurra, and I've seen them out in that jury land out in the water catchment when I was fortunate enough to
I know
be
of them
there.
in Canyon Lee as well.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah. A couple of other interesting things that I found out about emus. And one is, you're going to think that I've got a bit of a preoccupation, but this intrigued me. The male emu has a penis and testicles. We haven't covered bird reproduction 101 yet, and most birds don't have any of those parts.
No. Sex with birds is mostly pretty perfunctory, isn't it?
That's right. But no, the male emu has a penis and testicles.
So you have to make the point that most birds don't.
That's right.
Yes. There's just a little bit of rubbing.
It's
and
most
that's it.
unusual.
Yeah.
And emus serve as an important agent for the dispersal of large seeds. They swallow the seed, they put it through their gut, they walk or run a long distance, and then they pop out the seed with a little bit of fertilizer around it somewhere else. And one of the problems with this was that many years ago, they dispersed the prickly pear in Queensland.
Oh, yes, they would have loved those prickly pears.
So that's my one little quick things I've seen. Emus out at Guula Ngurra. Go out there. Oh, and one other little piece of information that I'd heard before, and it was confirmed for me by one person, is that there used to be an emu farm in Joadja in the 70s. And some people conjecture that the emus at Guula Ngurra may have been released birds from there.
Very possible if it was a failed venture.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm.